Titan's Return week continues with my last individual Titan Masters and their vehicle counterparts, these being the Wave 2 Decepticons. We're looking at a couple jets here, so, let's see which one. Okay, one is technically a repaint with a new Titan Master, so I'll go ahead and get that out of the way. We'll save him for later. For now, we will focus on something that we're already a little bit familiar with if you saw Tuesday's review. This is Skytread, based on G1 flywheels, so I think this is going to be one of those cases where no one really minds if they copied a character and turned him into just a head with a vehicle, because he had absolutely nothing to do with with a headmasters or power masters, target master, anything. This is just a really weird way of working a character into this thing. Okay, so what do we have here? We've got a brown molded jet mode with a lot of kind of a dark red into the magenta and fuchsia areas of red. Not a bad color combination. It is very much the G1 color scheme of of flywheels. That said, it does have one noticeable distinction from the previous one, Terrible, in that the insides are all painted up. So this gives you a lot more red going through here and brings about a much bigger visual contrast between the two modes. This is very necessary. So, because as jet modes go, you do still have the treads attached, so that's kind of obvious. But the wings opening up and revealing so much red really does give the toy a different vibe and really kind of cements it in that we are looking at a different vehicle now. You still have the guns on the underside, and the guns still rotate, and they hinge upward and downward, so you have some targeting you can do. And speaking of targeting, I guess from here we go into the weapon mode. For that, I'm going to extract the Titan Master. It's always weird when they have to combine like this, like upside down in his own cockpit. I'm always imagining like his view is completely upside down in there. So for the actual, what they want you to do for the weapon mode, fold the wings in, extend the handle down, and that gives you this weird upside down tank with a jet cockpit on the front. And they do mold a barrel on the tip of the nose cone, but it really doesn't look like anything. This is one of those weapon modes that looks rather improvised rather than actually having some kind of substance to it, which is regretful, but at this size scale, it does happen. So from here, the vehicle mode, the actual secondary mode, is as simple as flipping that out, flipping it over, with the handle back down. Now we have a tank. Before we take a solid look at that tank, we might as well look at the Titan Master now while he's out. He is a little bit more of an original design. I think this is where I started associating this mold with Demolishor, because these colors are much closer to him. It's not a bad job. Squared off details, interesting little head design. It does have the arms and legs different colors, which means when you fold over the head, the back of his head does have a very different color palette. That works on some headmasters, but characters like this, who weren't originally headmasters, it's a wee bit distracting, especially if you're attached to the original version. Looking at the head itself, it's been a long time since I've seen G1 flywheels, I will tell you that. I honestly thought this looked more like Blitzwing at first, but then it kind of made me think, wait, is that where they got the platinum version of Blitzwing's colors? The red, the weird red and brown Blitzwing no one could figure out? It almost makes sense that way. But no, it's not a bad head. It gives you a little bit of variety for your Titan Masters and your Titan's Return figures. But beyond that, rather inoffensive. He's got the same points of articulation they all do. Ball joint in the head, which allows rocking and rotation. Ball joints in the shoulders with no real level of outward movement, but up and down works. Single piece for the thighs, single piece for the legs, and hinges let you bend them forward and back, and that's about it. Pretty simple guys, but then again, it's more articulation that the old school headmasters had, so that works out. We slot him in this way. There are pegs that will seat him in firmly. Put the hands down. You'll see little bits of molding there where it looks like the hands are supposed to fit. And this is the vehicle mode's riding phase, riding along on the back. Again, I get Armada Demolisher vibes from this. We see once again, it is a vast visual contrast from the jet mode. And while it does still have similar color placement, especially with the guns being this fuchsia color, you also get a little bit of paint on the sides so the missiles stand out. Never seen pink missiles before, but hey, there you go. Everything else is nicely molded. We have all the wheels and the treads. All those sections are molded in nicely. Some detail going throughout the actual gun emplacement. A lot of gaps going on for the engineering, but hey, you make sacrifices at this size. Little Decepticon emblem just to round it out. Again, not a bad little thing. Guns still raise up and down. Just have to do the check every time. So yeah, I actually prefer Skytread here to Terrible. I think the color palette and the use of it for the inner wings really helps the two molds stand out from each other. So this I believe to be the superior release. So good on you. You did good. Better than this G1 toy. Let's get the other one out here. This is the completely new mold of the Wave, and it should be no surprise that his name is Apeface. Again, we have a classic headmaster reduced to a tiny little Titan Master and a tiny little vehicle for him to attach to. And this is one of those things where it's kind of going to drive a few collectors up the wall. I will admit, in a line where all the Voyagers are Headmaster triple changers, it does bum me out to see that Apeface got reduced to this instead of getting a full-size toy. Wee bit frustrating, I know. That said, Hasbro did say getting one of these individual Titan Masters did not mean that it excluded them from possibly getting a larger toy, but you know it's a lot less likely now, don't you? Still, this thing does have a lot going for it. So we do have a lot of plastic molded in purple as well as black, and I believe all of this white is actually painted on. I want to say this section is actually black, giving a lot of deco to the front end. Nose cone even painted in red. So, not a bad job. It does harken back to the original Apeface jet mode, though again, I haven't played with Apeface in a while, so I can't quite remember exactly how it went. This does look like an updated and more futuristic design, which does work out for me quite well. And that said, it pretty much goes like a lot of the jet modes have in here. The Titan Master is mounted face up on his back, like he's staring through the cockpit upside down. A little bit weird. It's one of those modes where he's just kind of filling out the gap more than anything. But still, the jet mode, not bad. A little bit bulky, but hey, it's Apeface. What do you expect? He is a little bit bulky. I'm going to go ahead and take the Titan Master out, and we'll get ready for his other modes. Before we go to that, though, I'm going to take a look at the Titan Master now. You can see he's done up with absolutely no paint in this mode. He looks like he's wearing a purple jumpsuit, and his head and his arms are entirely black. This is also one of the few times I can actually point out it really doesn't look anything like his original Headmaster. The off-white plastic is gone. His head is a completely different design, if I can actually get to focus in on that. Yeah, completely different. I think the actual head is the only place they actually tried to get some accuracy. You can also see the massive size difference between them. I always thought Headmasters were small until I saw these little guys. Oh man. So, they transform the same way. Just flip the legs over and hey, you've got a robot's head. So that all works out. I'm going to show you the difference between them, because they do share some similarities. They have the same vents on the sides of their mouths. They have the same shape to their mouth plates, a little bit more filled in on the new one. And that's about where the similarities end. Well, aside from like coloring. Coloring's fine. Even the pattern of the purple and black throughout the back, that works. Yeah, the crest, the forehead is completely different on them. I'm okay taking this as an upgraded Apeface, at least as far as upgrading the head. Again, the head being the upgraded component. Yeah, that works out. Alright, so we've seen that. I'll sit him over there, and we will get back to the vehicle itself. The weapon mode, a little bit more involved here, just because things come out that actually look like barrels, but it's still pretty much just the standard flip these things out to look like barrels and then flip the gun handle down. It's supposed to be this 3-barrel thing, and you can see barrels molded in, so give them credit there. I almost think it works better with that folded up, so you have these two longer barrels sticking out. But that's a little bit of fan moding, a little bit to your own discretion. Play with it how you want. I do like how the wings add this little crossbow effect to it. Gives a slightly different look. But no, the real story here is the other modes. So if I put the handle back where it goes, I'm gonna rotate the wings / black sections back, flip that up, and behold, of course, Apeface has to have an Ape Mode. So we have a big black and off-white gorilla here, hiding most of the purple and looking extraordinarily distinct. This is actually kind of cool. This was a really cool surprise coming from, because we've seen on the others where it's just like they kind of borrow something that seems like it's meant for someone else, you know, like Horrible and Terrible and Night Beats, you know, where the vehicle doesn't really match. This is 100% supposed to be Apeface. I love that his little vehicle turns into both of his original alternate modes. That's kind of brilliant, and it makes for a fun little toy. We can see, he has a big red visor. I love it. Big open mouth. You can see the teeth molded in. A lot of molded detail going on him. He even has hands molded into the sides. That's quite cool. I'd love that. Little feet molded in. Eee. This is the riding mode, so I'm going to go ahead and rotate the arms forward so it looks like he's actually holding on to something. The pegs are in the back of the cockpit, so peg them in, and with that, we have... Oh, this is so cool. This is one of those where I think it's easy here to admit, yes, it'd be nice to get like the Voyager Triple Changer Apeface and actually have a full upgraded version of the G1 toy. I might prefer Snapdragon, but I would take an Apeface. But I think this is where people go, okay, it's kind of a cool little version of the character all on its own. So I think this one has a lot of fun to it. And I love how much variety there is between his two main modes. I mean, you don't get that with the rest of the toy line. It's either two vehicles or, in the case of Crash Bash, two beasts. This is the only beast and vehicle guy, which gives you a much richer amount of playability and a lot of reason to switch between modes because it's so different. Oh, it works so well. So that is the Wave 2 Decepticons for the individual Titan Masters. I do find Skytread to be a very, very improved repaint over Terrible's mold. I do prefer the head design on this one too. So if you're looking for replacement Titan Masters, it's not a bad option. Apeface is a huge winner. It's a very cute and fun little version of the original toy. You can tell the designers kind of had fun with that one to make it happen. And hey, it's got a lot of variety going on. I would actually put that probably tied with Crash Bash as my favorite in the line. I guess I just have something for the little tiny beast guys. I don't know, but I'm glad they kind of saved a really good one for Wave 2. These two really do stand out. So if you can find them, they are definitely winners in their size class.